it.
Deer season's right around the corner, so if you happen to bag that big buck with your vehicle, let Trice Hughes' Collision Center go to work for you. Call or stop by for a free estimate.
Great people make up our home team at Trice Hughes. Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Dear Santa, my papa doesn't hear me very well. When I tell him I love him, he can't hear me. It makes me so sad. Please, Santa, bring him some Audible hearing aids. Love, Emily.
It's so good to hear you say you love me.
Ho, 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 ho!
Best Christmas ever!
Call Audible today for your free hearing test.
There's no better time than now to hear better for Christmas.
Call Audible 270-554-1900.
BNC Unique Boutique in the Princeton Plaza offers boutique fashions, footwear, and accessories, sizes small to 3X. New fashions are arriving weekly, so there are daily sales just in time for your holiday shopping. Shop in person Monday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturdays 9:30 to 3, or shop 24/7 at shopbcboutique.com. With free store pickup, local shipping rates, or curbside pickup. BNC Unique Boutique in the Princeton Plaza. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for updates and photos of new merchandise.
Dunks use tires and wheels, where the customer is always number one. So when life's throwing you a number two, just remember, Dunks Tires and Wheels, because we'll be here for you. We sell used custom wheels and tires and do plug and patch repair. We have all tread styles and sizes in stock. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and on call for emergencies. Call 270-963-6391. Dunks use tires and wheels, where the customer is always number one.
The Turkey Brothers are back for another year of the Hancock's Neighborhood Market 12 Days of Christmas. Tune in each morning to Coffee Talk to hear that day's prize and head over to WPKYonline.com to enter the Hancock's 12 Days of Christmas.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios this morning, and we're going to be talking football. We've got football coaches Will Barnes, Aaron McClung, and Jeff Riley in the studio with us this morning. And guys, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in and being on the show today.
Thanks for having us, Todd.
Absolutely. Big news today, not in football, but basketball, I think, as the KHSAA is going to have a Board of Control meeting, and well, the big rumor is they're going to push basketball season back a little bit more. And you guys hear anything on that?
I'm out of the loop on the basketball stuff a little bit, but I know how those basketball coaches feel, you know, watching those meetings and not knowing what's going to happen, and you know, just hope they get something figured out to have a season.
Well, and if basketball gets pushed back, that kind of affects baseball, softball, all the spring sports again. At some point, does it back into football? Do you guys anticipate having a more normal off-season this year than maybe what we had in 2020?
You know, I don't anticipate January and February being very typical, but I hope by the time, you know, it hits the summer and we're out of school, we can do some of the things that we would typically do, which would be really important for us going into next season.
Let's hope so. And it was kind of weird having an entire summer there where we didn't really have anything.
Yeah, it was different, and you know, we made the best of it, but it was definitely not our typical summer.
Talking football this morning with the football coaches. Going to get to a break and come back with more here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
If extra expenses and Christmas shopping during the holiday season has you feeling more bah humbug than merry and bright, it's probably time to visit ABC Finance. With no payment due until January, you have a little time to breathe and enjoy. Here's Jody and Todd to explain a little more.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location. At ABC Finance, we want you to enjoy this time of year and offer a deferred payment program on holiday loans.
Give us a call and we will take your application over the phone or stop by. No appointment is needed and walk-ins are welcome.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000. The decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
Learn more. Visit abcfinanceonline.com and be sure to like our Facebook page for lots of financial tips and community info.
ABC Finance is adhering to all current COVID safety guidelines. To learn more about these, visit their Facebook page. All financing is based on normal credit approval.
Test your knowledge on everything from turkeys and jingles to Christmas movies and sugar plums. What are those anyway? It's time to play our holiday quizzes brought to you by Safe Construction in Hopkinsville. Why do it, you ask? Because it's plain old good fun. And don't we all need a little of that after a year like this? Play holiday quizzes at WPKYonline.com and click on contests. A new quiz is loaded every few days.
Are technical issues causing problems and slowing down your business? Solutions Technology Group can solve those technical problems and put proactive measures in place. Our cost-effective managed service program is designed to keep your systems up and running with computer and network health monitoring, antivirus protection, computer backup and recovery, as well as unlimited support. For more information, call 270-522-0000 or visit solutionstg.com.
Holiday Wars. Sounds like what's happening inside your head while getting ready for the holiday, right? This year, let a Holiday Wars expert take on some of your battle. Kathy at Gather on Main in Princeton will do the baking for you. Pies, cakes, cocoa bombs, and more. Baked by a Food Network holiday baker. Oh yes, she is making those famous sexy bourbon cookies. Perfectly prepared desserts means more family time. For more information, find Gather on Main on Facebook.
We are back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. Football coaches Will Barnes, Aaron McClung, and Jeff Riley in the studio with us. And first of all, Will, you guys have had a little time now to think back on the 2020 season. What are kind of your thoughts on the year we just completed?
It was definitely a unique and challenging year. And, you look at our record and it wasn't great, 3-4, but that's not really indicative of the type of football team we had. I think if you asked Murray and Mayfield and Hopkinsville who were some of the better teams they played this year, we're going to be close to the top of that list. And we were just a couple plays short and 3 of those losses, and those games could have gone either way. And, with how challenging the year was, our kids kept a great attitude and did a good job of just kind of staying the course. And even not knowing, if we were going to play on Friday, they still came out, had a good attitude, and, really kept me up sometimes whenever I got a little down and disappointed because we couldn't get a game scheduled or whatever. But and that goes to good senior leadership. We had a great group of seniors that kind of stayed the course, and proud of what they accomplished.
Aaron, what are kind of some of your thoughts on the just completed season?
Well, it was a very different season, and like Coach Barnes said, I was really proud of how the kids handled it. I hate bye weeks, and I don't know how many bye weeks we had this year. We would go, I don't know if we ever played back-to-back weeks, and if it was up to me, we would never have a bye week in a season, and I think we probably had 5 bye weeks this year. So that was a change, but the kids adapted pretty well, and they stayed ready. And I hate practicing when you don't have a game to prepare for, but they did it, and it was a good season. I know you look at our record, you think, well, you had a losing record, but it was very close to being a lot more wins. We just couldn't get the certain breaks when we needed it, and but when you're a part of it, you can see how hard guys are working and how close we really are to really doing something special, and just didn't break our way.
Yeah, Jeff, it seemed like a couple of times there was a couple of weeks between games.
Yeah, it seemed like forever. I think that definitely was the hardest part, was the uncertainty of it, and preparing, and and then last second have to make a change, or being up, getting ready to go play, and then you can't go play, or you lose that game or whatever. I think that was definitely tough. But just what they said, our kids are, kids surprise you a lot, just how resilient they are, and things you think are going to affect them, and it doesn't. They just kind of keep on plugging, and and like Coach Barnes said, sometimes they kind of grab you by the shirt collar, figuratively, I guess, not literally, and kind of say, hey, we're ready to go, man, let's go. So let's go get it done. So that was, I find myself kind of missing that right now. Kind of say, hey, because they're not in the building. Normally after the season we see them every day, and you still kind of get to have that relationship. It's just kind of like, well, it was over, and we haven't seen them in a few weeks, and believe it or not, I find myself missing those guys. So.
And you guys still had some big wins though during the season. You extended win streaks against Crittenden County and Trigg County, and it seemed like even the losses, they were really, really tight games.
Yeah, and you look, the Crittenden County win was a good win for us, because you look what they did the rest of the season, and they had a really good year, and made another regional championship game, and that was a great win, and we're able to get a district win there with Ballard, and we got a win against Trigg, and that's got a good young team, and Coach Peach has got those guys going in the right direction. They're going to continue to get better. So, and like you said, those Murray and Mayfield games were extremely tight, and I felt like going into the playoffs that whoever won our district was probably going to be in the semifinals, and that's how it shook out, because you kind of look at 2A and especially how games were being played earlier in the year. I just felt like if we weren't the toughest district, we were probably the second toughest district behind that LCA Somerset Danville district, and whoever was able to come out of our district would be able to make a little bit of a run, and that's what happened.
Aaron, when you look back at your guys' games this season, the Murray game here was overtime. The game down there went down to the last play. The Mayfield game went down to the last play. It's a lot of close games.
Yeah, and those are tough ones. In some ways, those are almost they're probably the hardest ones to lose, when you know that you had a chance to win a game and you don't win it. They were very close, hard-fought games, and there were some there. If you go back to those games, you can probably find 2 or 3 plays that go the other way, and they get those games have different outcomes, and those are just things that when you're a good team, you have a chance to win those games, and when you're a great team, you overcome things that happen, and you win all those games. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to be a great team and not leave as many games up to circumstance. There were I could mention some circumstances that were beyond our control, but I won't. But there are some things that we hope to get better at to eliminate those types of losses.
Well, and Jeff, you guys, I think, went into the playoffs kind of with the mindset that, hey, we can still make a big run in this thing.
Yeah, I just kind of to go back what everybody else says. I think when you're in those games and you look at the talent and you look at the way we play those guys, and I think our kids felt like that, we were just as talented and just as good a team as Mayfield or Murray. I think our kids were hungry for another shot at Murray, and I think they went down. They played with a lot of heart and effort, and they were physical. I feel like we were more physical in the second game than we were the first. They kind of got a taste of them the first time, and they kind of decided they were going to kind of play with them. And we gave up a couple big plays, and they just kind of we got behind there a little bit. Then in the middle of the fourth quarter, just couldn't get back on top of it. But I was super proud of the way our kids played and fought, and got back in it. And then like Coach Barnes said, it's such a parity in the district this year that whoever come out of the district had a legit shot. And Murray may have their hands full, but they're going to give. I think they're going to give LCA they're tough, especially when they get behind those linemen and get coming downhill at you. I think that'd be tough for anybody to handle. So, them and then Hoptown's still playing too. So we just our tough schedule caught up to us a little bit, but you can't get good if you don't play good competition. So.
Well, I was actually looking at the Lexington Christian stats, looking ahead to the Murray game this week for those guys, and Lexington Christian only gives up about 97 yards a game on the ground. Well, that's Murray's bread and butter, so, that's going to be one of those interesting clashes when they get together Friday night.
Yeah, that's definitely one I think I'm going to try to tune in on the network, the NFHS network.
I think somebody's streaming it for free.
Oh, really?
Prep Spin, is that what it is? PrepSpin.com.
Like
I think you can watch it for free this week. So
find a couple of them.
So that'll be interesting. But we talked about Crittenden County just a little bit, and Will, there was a rumor during the season that we almost got to play them twice. Anything to that?
Yeah, so that was, let's see. We had so many games canceled. I'm trying to figure out which one it was. I think was that the Christian County week?
Yeah, it was the week before the playoff game.
So we had Christian canceled, and then I had Fulton County scheduled, and then Fulton called last minute on like Wednesday, I guess it was Wednesday, that their AD had scheduled another game. And so at that point, we're after practice on Wednesday, thinking we're going to play the playoffs the next week, really deciding if we wanted to try to play a game in 24 hours when we had a big playoff game the next week. So, I think they had an open week, but we didn't even really talk. And once Fulton, we had that second game scheduled and canceled, and we were out, had already finished practice on that Wednesday. It's a little bit different at the beginning of the year because you're just trying to play. But when you're at the end of the year and you got a playoff game as big as we had, you don't want to, push anything too much. Obviously, if I would have known they were going to push it back, we probably would have pushed a little bit harder to play that week, but it just didn't work out.
Had to be a little frustrating, though, trying to put that schedule together because at times you're literally just week to week trying to find a game.
Yeah, and, we had the Union County game kind of canceled on us last minute there, and we were actually extremely lucky there to even, get a game because, Hoptown just happened to come open, and that was just a natural game for us. We play that every year anyway, and that was even playing somebody that close and them and all that, it was still very hectic and very chaotic, those 2 or 3 days trying to get all that stuff ready to go to play that game. And, we had Glasgow scheduled, had to cancel that. That was a game we added during the season. We had Madisonville scheduled that had to get canceled. So all of these games were added from mid to late July, even in some of them were in the season. And, it's a headache scheduling usually anyway, especially, we just looking at next year's schedule, I tried to get some teams to play and, they're a little leery on playing us. And it's so doing it in a normal year is not the easiest thing. And then doing it during the year is definitely not a good situation.
I don't know that I can ever recall a situation where you added a game like Thursday afternoon for that Saturday.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and I hope it never happens again.
Yeah, me too.
Especially if they're as good as Hoptown.
Yeah. What do you do preparation-wise for something like that? Because had you been working that week for another opponent and then try to kind of mix it up a little bit or what?
Yeah, we up until, I guess, Wednesday, we were playing Union County. And so we've been, in Union County, hadn't even played a game at that point. So we were kind of going off last year's stuff for Union County, and we're prepping Union County, and then we get canceled. And then Wednesday at practice, we don't have a game, so we weren't preparing really for anybody. Just went out and did some just typical stuff. And then I guess Wednesday, or maybe it was either Wednesday or Thursday, during practice, we really finalized that Hoptown game. So, it was do the best you can. Luckily, we're pretty familiar with what Hopkinsville does, and it wasn't as crazy as it could be.
Talking this morning with football coaches Will Barnes, Aaron McClung, and Jeff Riley. Need to get to another break here on the show, though, but we'll be back with more on the Sideline Report right after this.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Sunshine expected through the day today, reaching a high of about 62 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear skies down to about 40 for the overnight low. Partly sunny, 64 the high for tomorrow. A 70% chance of rain showers by tomorrow night down to 50. 61 the high with showers continuing Saturday. Maybe a slight chance of showers on Sunday, back down to 46 degrees. But again today, a high of 62 degrees under sunny skies.
Winter's creeping our way. It's time to button up your car, truck, and SUV with a pre-winter inspection from Trice Hughes' service department. They'll do a multi-point inspection of your vehicle, including checking your antifreeze, wiper blades, battery, and more. Time to get ready for Old Man Winter with Trice Hughes.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Folks, Merry Christmas.
Santa sleigh stops are making their way across our community. Don't miss a chance to shop local and save 50% off retail in the Loyal Listener Big Deals store. While supplies last, you get your big deal today from Rooms for Less.
Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYonline.com.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. Football coaches Will Barnes, Aaron McClung, and Jeff Riley in the studio with us. And, guys, we've talked a little bit about this season. Will, looking ahead to next season, you guys are going to lose some people, some key spots on offense especially, but what do you do to try to look ahead to next year?
Yeah, we've got a lot of key guys that we're going to lose to graduation, and a lot of good leadership in that group. And it's going to be very difficult to replace that type of production and leadership. And we're going to have a new quarterback obviously next year, so figuring that out will be very important for us this offseason. But we've got our defensive line coming back, got some other younger linemen that we're excited about, and some of these guys that were playing JV this year from a skill position standpoint, if they'll come along in this offseason, we'll have a chance to be a decent little team if we'll put the work in this offseason. And, however that's going to shake out the next few months, we've got to make sure we're working towards next season.
How do you guys go ahead and schedule your off season? I mean, are you just kind of playing it by ear at this point and waiting to see what happens, or do you actually have some things lined up?
Yeah, right now it's kind of wait and see what happens. Typically we would give them a couple of weeks off and then just kind of open the weight room up and let them come in if they want to. But we're not doing that. We're lucky that we've got a good amount of our guys, especially upperclassmen, in weightlifting during school. So if we can get back to school, that'll be good to get those guys in the weight room. But we'll hopefully be able to get something together in January and get in the weight room a little bit and do some stuff. But yeah, I don't really like that aspect of it, because I'd rather be able to give them a schedule right now and say, hey, this is what's going to happen from now until the end of next year. But just you can't really put anything on paper because it's liable to change 100 times.
Well, it is a long way till next season, but you guys think maybe the defense will have to maybe hold the fort a little bit as the offense finds its footing next season?
Well, we returned 3 really, really good defensive linemen, and that'll be big. Return all 3 of them especially. We had some other kids that stepped in and played a little bit too that I think will get more playing time next year. So defensive line should be good. We return a starting linebacker, graduated a few linebackers, but there's some young kids coming up that I think will be able to fill in those roles. The biggest part of replacing the defense will probably be the secondary. We graduating both of our corners and our strong safety. So 3 out of our 4 members of our secondary will be new. But we got some good kids coming up. We got some good kids coming up from the middle school. Our JV team was undefeated this year, and they didn't get to play a lot of games, but they they won every game they played, and there's some pretty promising looking young kids in that group. So I think defensively we'll be all right. You never know until you start practicing and playing games, but we returned some quality kids, so I think we'll be okay.
Looking ahead to next season, the first scrimmage set for August 6th, and Will, looking over the schedule for next year, pretty challenging slate for you guys.
Yeah, and it's basically the same, and wanted to get Madisonville on the schedule. I've said this a couple times on here, but Coach Burgett does a good job over there. They've got a good program, and we play them in everything else. It's an easy drive. They're willing to play us, and it'll be a really good game for us. We start out pretty tough, and that's what we need to be if we're going to compete in this district. Is all those non-district games need to be competitive, and we play good quality people in all of those non-district games. And you look at our scrimmages; those teams will be really, really good to get us ready for that first game against Christian County, which is something I wanted to do. Make sure we were scrimmaging quality people as well.
How did the Owensboro Catholic and Owensboro scrimmages come about?
Owensboro Catholic wanted to play a game, and I had that schedule done pretty quick and didn't have any dates that they were looking for. I think they were wanting to play that first week, and we couldn't do that with playing Christian County. And so I said, hey, well, we'll scrimmage if you want to. And he said, yeah, that'll be fine. And he needed a first scrimmage, and we did too. So that worked out. And then I know Jay Fallon, he's the coach over at Owensboro. He was looking for a scrimmage, and I just said, hey, we'll scrimmage if you guys want to. And, that'll be a good test. They're playing in the semifinals of 5A tomorrow night. Got a good program. Jay does a great job, and we'll get to see a pretty good quarterback play, I think.
I think the last time we went to Radge Stadium, Owensboro Catholic still played there, and that's where we played them in the playoffs one year.
Yeah, it's a neat little place.
That was a long time ago.
I would say that was maybe 97.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody remember that one? That was a pretty good team. I think Caldwell got beat 18-14 that night in the second round of the playoffs, I think, third round of the playoffs, and that 97 team was pretty good. So, but Owensboro Catholic was pretty good that year too, and I think that was at Radge Stadium before they started playing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They didn't start playing at Wesley until probably.
Were you born then?
Yeah, I was born. I was what, six or seven. But yeah, it's probably about the same except they've got turf.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a nice facility over there. I always like going over to Radge Stadium and watching those games. Not when Davis County was playing, because it usually meant we were getting beat pretty good. But I like going over there to play.
That's why we're going to Owensboro. We'll just get a little
payback.
nostalgia for his youth. Yeah.
Well, looking at the opener, though, you mentioned Christian County. Then you've got the Madisonville game. Then it's Hopkinsville, Crittenden County, and Union County. That's a pretty stout way to open the season.
Yeah, and, we've played those teams outside of Madisonville for the last few years, and, we've got to get geared up for those district games, and all of those games will be challenging. And, you look at Union County, didn't get to play them this year, but they had a nice team and made a good run. So, I'm sure they're fired up about what they'll have coming back. And, those opening games we want to be challenging.
And then you got the district games coming up. Ballard Memorial, I have to go there this year. Mayfield and Fort Campbell come here. Then we go to Murray. Same as this year, I'm guessing. All those games will be, the Murray and Mayfield matchups will be pretty tight, I would think.
You hope so. I think Mayfield will be improved. Murray loses a little bit to graduation, but they've also got some key pieces coming back. So it'll be another competitive year in the district. I think all three teams, will be right there for that district championship.
We need to just hope Ballard continues to play football.
Yeah, I saw their coach resign yesterday. Yeah, he's a really good guy.
You know what, though, when they came up here, obviously they were overmatched most of the time when they would show up for a football game. All their kids played hard and competed.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
They were never going to win the game, but, they still showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody's ever been on a team that's bad, and I think all of us have been there at one point or another in some sport, it gets to be pretty difficult to show up and still, put forth that effort because you just know your chances of winning are slim. But those guys came out and they played. I thought when we went down there 2 years ago, they did the same thing. They're just kind of outmatched. Yeah, and they brought 12, 13 kids, something like that. They don't have a lot of kids in their program, but you're right. They play hard, and I think that's says a lot about their coach. Coach Brooks is a really nice guy and does a good job. And 2 years ago they gave us all we wanted there for a little while, and can't say enough about. I went 0-11 in college and I was miserable. So. It's not fun, and it's not easy to get up and go practice every day and go to games when you're probably going to get beat, and credit to those kids for sure. Well, and at some point in the season, it felt like some teams are trying to get out of games for different reasons, and Ballard Memorial was still willing to come up here and play, and we had senior night that night and homecoming, so I give them credit for showing up and playing the game.
Yeah, I think their administration helped with that too, because they had some kids not for some whatever reason at the last minute couldn't play. The kid that played quarterback, that's the only game he's ever played at quarterback. That was a last minute change, and I think their administration helped to encourage them to come down here and honor their agreement to come play us, and we appreciate it. And I think they scored a touchdown. I think that was their only touchdown they scored all year, and they were pretty happy about that. Might have been the only time I've ever seen a visiting team at Tiger Stadium and was standing there hoping that they scored. On that last drive, you never ever pull, Colwell County grad and Tiger fan, but when they were driving that ball the last time, I'm like, I really hope they put this thing in the end zone. Yeah, it's, you want those kids to have success, and, they work hard just like everybody else does. Jeff, looking ahead to next year, what are some things the Tigers need to work on, maybe improve on, and maybe just get a little better where you pick up that extra point or two next year? Well, I think, we talked about it. We need to get the weight room's going to be big in that. I always think the weight room's big, but I think in particular this year, just like you said, you went over the schedule, and there are no give-me's on that schedule. You're going to have to show up and play every day. I think you build that mentality in the weight room. So we're going to try to do everything we can to get our kids in the weight room and encourage them to come and lift and be a part of it. And, Coach Barnes kind of started some stuff last year that I hope we can kind of continue as a, motivation and reward those guys for getting in and working hard. And I think it starts there. And then, we talked about having those D-line kids back and having some kids. Those guys are going to have to step up and pick up the leadership role where the senior class left off. And, some of those younger guys that are come off that JV team, and they're going to have to come in and play big roles for us. And, it's just kind of one of those typical things where you have to step up and get ready to go. And, you develop your mental toughness in January, February, March so that you can hopefully carry that on through December. One game we didn't mention on the schedule, the last one at Trigg County, that's the 139 Bowl, and you guys have sort of had your hands on that traveling trophy for a while now. Yeah, that's good, to win those guys against those guys. And I like moving that game to the end of the year, having a competitive game and playing against Trigg County at the end of the year. I think that was a good move for our schedule. So we kept that there, and I think you'll continue to see them get better. They've got some good young kids, and Coach Peach is doing a good job. So you'll see improvement from them from year to year going forward. I'm going to add, I think that's Earl's favorite game is the 139. He loves that trophy, and probably that will be the key to next season is making sure we get Earl to every game. Because we really, not having him was huge this year. Start charging Trigg County rent for keeping that trophy.
Oh, jeez.
Well, the funny thing is, I've heard people say that it's not really a traveling trophy because it's been in Princeton the whole time it's existed. So just throw some bulletin board material out there. Yeah. You've got an open date right before that Trigg County game. Is that kind of where you want your open week, or was that on purpose, or just kind of worked out that way? I tried to move that around. It's a little bit difficult with the district schedule. It basically it stays set the same way. So there is a little leeway there where you can start district play a week early if it's to avoid playing on the bye week. Or on
fall break. I tried to move that game earlier, and it just didn't work out. We play Fort Campbell that week, so we'll keep that. That's not too big of a deal. So did try to change it, but we're going to keep it there for this next cycle at least.
Talking this morning with football coaches Will Barnes, Aaron McClung, and Jeff Riley. Need to get to another break on the show. We'll be back with more of the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Raider Auction Company.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Sunshine expected through the day today, reaching a high of about 62 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear skies down to about 40 for the overnight low. Partly sunny, 64 the high for tomorrow. A 70% chance of rain showers by tomorrow night down to 50. 61 the high with showers continuing Saturday. Maybe a slight chance of showers on Sunday, back down to 46 degrees. But again today, a high of 62 degrees under sunny skies.
Hello, I'm Jason Redford, Community President, First Southern National Bank. When First Southern National Bank says we believe in you, it means we also believe certain things about you. We believe that you want to live a life of margin, where you can balance spending, saving, and giving. We believe that you want to make wise financial decisions to enable that kind of living. Because we believe in you, we are here for you every step of the way. Visit fsmb.net to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Fortner Gas is ready to keep you warm. Fortner Gas is available 24/7 and will always take care of their customers when other companies leave people in the cold. Just contact Fortner Gas and schedule a propane delivery to your home or business. They want your business and will prove that to you. You can count on Fortner Gas in Princeton to keep you warm and toasty this winter. Doesn't that sound good? Fortner Gas, since 1951.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. Again, we're talking football this morning. Will Barnes, Aaron McClung, and Jeff Riley all in the studio with us. And guys, we've been talking about next season and looking ahead. Can't get here soon enough for me, and just hope that we have a normal year next year.
Yeah, that would be great, especially, it wasn't a great situation this year, but it was good that we had a lot of returning guys, a lot of veteran leadership, so it wasn't as big of a deal. But going into next year, we're going to have a lot of guys offensively that haven't played a lot, and especially at the quarterback position. So getting as much time with them in the summer and maybe getting some 7-on-7 and that kind of thing will be really important, and getting those two scrimmages before the first game will be important for us offensively, because it's there's going to be some growing pains and trying to figure out how things are going to look, and we need that time.
Well, the playoffs are going on. Murray's still going. Hopkinsville's still going. Any chance that we get the football playoff changed by next year? That format, and I don't. Does anybody like playing the teams in your own district in the playoffs?
Well, the people that play in the best two districts in the state don't.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Somerset was the won it last year. They beat, I guess Lexington Christian beat them both times this year.
By a touchdown each time. Yeah,
and very close games, and you got to win them, beat them if you're going to try to win it anyway. So, I think if you talk to a lot of coaches, they would rather go back to the sister district, cross district play. That's what I would prefer. But, I like that when we were in 3A. And I think that would I like that setup better.
Just seems like having that other district, and it's kind of a bit of an unknown because you usually don't play those guys, and it just seems like a bigger deal, that first round of the playoffs, rather than, hey, we're playing a team we just played a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think it gives the regular season a little bit more meaning when if you win, you get that one seed, you're going to be at home for the first couple, 2-3 rounds, whatever it shakes out there. And then you look at the 2 seed, you get to play at home versus going to Hancock County or Owensboro Catholic or something like that. It's a little bit different trip there than just going to Murray or coming to Princeton.
Well, and you used to kind of know ahead of time, if you got the number 1 seed, you'll be at home this many games or whatever. And now with the RPI, and I'm not really sold on the RPI yet either, but does that kind of affect the way you're scheduling? Do you try to schedule more 4A and 5A and 6A schools just to kind of help your RPI?
And that kind of came into play this year with some teams not wanting to hurt their RPI. And that one team we were trying to play said they didn't want to hurt their RPI by losing. But this year was kind of a weird year for the RPI because not everybody played a full 9 games. A lot of people played 5 and 6 games. And, I think it is better when you got a full 10-game season to look at. But when you look at our schedule, we play a lot of those teams that are 4 or 5A teams. But to get credit in the RPI, you got to beat them. So, we've got to win those games. And we want to schedule those games whether it means anything in the RPI or not. But, yeah, we need to win them, too.
Yeah, talked about Hopkinsville still playing. I think they go up to Boyle County this week, and Boyle County is undefeated, so that'll be a big challenge for them. But to me, the best thing about playing Hopkinsville next year, I think Reese Jesse finally graduates, right?
Yes, finally.
So no more having to worry about that guy anyway.
He had a big game against us, but I feel like we defended him probably about as good as anybody. But that kid is he's big. And he's just so explosive, and he's just got another gear. He can be covered, and they throw the ball, and then he just beats your kids. He beat Barron on a pass last year. Barron had perfect coverage, and the kid just hit another gear and just ran right by him and caught a long touchdown. And with him, they're gonna have a chance for some explosive plays because he's a player.
Talking about some guys you guys have playing in college. You still got some guys going there. Of course, D. Canes at Western. Oliver Parker got in the game the other day for the Hilltoppers. A little time at receiver. So Jalen Boyd is still at Lindsey Wilson. Joby Jaggers at Murray State. Anybody I'm leaving?
Mitchell's down at Murray.
Exactly. I knew I was going to leave somebody out of that list.
And you have a chance to go see Jalen and the kids at Murray in the spring.
Is that right?
Because they're playing their season in the spring. So I think that's great because I don't like going to games during our season on Saturday because that's a whole day when you got to drive to a place like that. But in the spring, I don't mind picking up and driving to Columbia and watching him play.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch college teams play in February and March. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Murray State's playing a lot of their games on Sunday.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know that.
So I think that's the way the schedule shakes out for next year. So
I think it's great.
Yeah, so it's gonna,
I need something to watch in the springtime.
Yeah, football season just continues, but the COVID thing has kind of changed the way everybody, I think, schedules and looks at everything.
Yeah, and it's been a crazy year, and have NFL football on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, so it's been good if you like to watch football.
Big question for you guys, though. Does everybody have a copy of Tiger Tales?
Yes, it's on my desk at work.
Yeah, that's a great thing, and if you haven't got one, you need to go get one. You all did a great job with that.
Thank you. We've got copies here at the radio station. If anybody needs one, they can drop by, and we'll be glad to hand one out. And I look back at the season, and at some point need to do a preview for next year because I'm ready for 2021 to get here.
Todd, you are a hidden gem of sports journalism nowadays because there's so much junk out there and half-hearted coverage of local sports teams that you are really a treasure to our community.
Well, one thing I missed this year was those other 4 games we should have played, at least 4. I think everybody kind of fought it a little bit. Seemed like just difficult to get schedules going, and from McCullough County standpoint, it seemed like we'd start to get on a roll, and then we'd have a week off, and then you try to get on a roll again, and here's 2 weeks off, and it just seemed like we never quite got the season to the point we wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think you're right, and a lot of people had the same problems, and it was just a different year, and glad we got to play some games, and especially for our seniors, they deserved it.
Well, let's hope that before next year we can get the playoff thing fixed and we can get COVID out of here. And that, come August 6th, that first scrimmage, that everything's ready to roll and we're good to go.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do.
Start that campaign now.
Yeah.
Right here, Tom, for you.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in today and being on the show. And like I said, can't wait till next season. And I'll be glad just from a sports standpoint, whether it's basketball, baseball, softball, tennis, track, soccer, volleyball, where we can get back on a regular schedule and concentrate on sports and not so much on the other things outside of it.
Amen.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That's going to wrap us up here on the Sideline Report this morning. Thanks to Will Barnes and Aaron McClung and Jeff Riley for coming in and being on the show. This is the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky.
You're listening to the voice of Caldwell County, 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, an Edge Media Group station.
Your crew has worked hard this year, so why not get them a gift to show your appreciation? Shop Lowe's for a DeWalt Power Detect 2-tool combo kit for $349. Mechanics wear Durahide Impact gloves at only $29.98. Or how about a Metabo HPT The Tank compressor for $199? Shop Lowe's in store or at lowesforpros.com. And while you're at it, pick up a little something for yourself too. Lowe's, the new home for pros. While supplies last, U.S. only.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da?
I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da?
Well, what did we da yesterday?
Yesterday.
All the dolls feel like the same doll these days.
I know.
Like, is today Monday or Tuesday?
Today is Thursday.
Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday.
Oh, no.
No.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Life is filled with moments. Moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
Your WPKY Weather Radge Weather Center forecast. It's going to be another gorgeous day around the region. Sunny skies, a high of 66. Mostly clear skies tonight, down to 40 for the overnight low. Increasing clouds for tomorrow, a high of 65. We'll see a 90% chance of rain showers by tomorrow night, down to 51. And rain showers pushing out of the region through the day Saturday, a high of 61, down to 45 on Sunday. Sunshine through the day today, reaching a high of 66.
Hi, it's Jenny from your local Big Deal store, and we're busting at the seams with gift certificates, announcing our Big Deals Doorbuster sale. Today and today only. Save an additional 15% off your entire purchase. No code necessary. Why 15%? Because it's only 15 days until Christmas. Oh my gosh, only 15 days and I haven't done any of my own shopping yet. I better get going. You should too. To Big Deals. Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYOnline.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. An FDA panel today is expected to recommend approval of a coronavirus vaccine as more Americans than ever are dying or in the hospital with the virus.
A new single-day record was set yesterday in the U.S. with 3,124 more lives lost to COVID-19. The COVID tracking project says we've also hit a new hospitalization record, more than 106,000.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The weekly jobs report from the Labor Department shows 853